about how Odoo can be utilized for the larger organizations. In fact, how we are using Odoo as a platform for the larger organization. Before moving to my presentation, I just walk through Cyient, what Cyient actually all about. So, Cyient is a large organization. It's basically engineering-based company which provides services to different organizations, large organizations. So you can see, like, it's a 30 years. We are like 30 years old company. We have 740 million revenues and so on. So basically, if I go to the next slide, it gives more information about how many associates we have in many centers across basically different geographies. So primarily we are based in India, Hyderabad, with 30,000 associates in Europe and North America. We work with large clients like Boeing, or we talk about Honeywell and so on. So basically we provide engineering services. So by now it is clear that we work with the large organizations. So how Odoo comes into picture, that's what I want to explore here. Basically this session I'm trying to show how Odoo can be customized and leveraged for the large organization using AI solutions around it and also process optimization for the bigger customers. So it's a more of it is little bit technical side of presentation, which gives like what are the functionalities, what are the main points where Odoo has bigger role than the regular or the standard enterprise systems. So before going to that, I have few use cases which I would like to explore here, and it would be a little more technical, but it will give you like what extent Odoo can be utilized as a platform. The first use case, that is a COPA, that is corrective and preventive action, report generation. This is report generation is very basic. It looks like very basic report generation, the way how we generate in Odoo, but we'll point out what are the basically challenges here. So how we differentiate and how it can be utilized. So here there are three components in it. One is how Odoo has been customized for this particular challenge. Second point is how Odoo has been integrated with different systems, different enterprise systems. So we have integrated with SAP, we have integrated with PLM system, and how AI has been utilized for this particular case. So all three cases has been actually utilized for this particular case to solve. So let me show you the report, how it looks like. This report looks like actually this standard report you see. Actually the other page is the downline, but yeah, I just showed like how it will look like. So if you look at, there are three sections: general section, basically sections, subsections, and then data points. So what is special into it? I mean, you might be generating so many reports like this, right, in the Odoo system. So what is special in this? So this particular report is actually not just 2 pages, but it is around 20-page reports. And the main point is, if you look at, there are 2 data points. One data point is actually your discrete data point, which you can map with your system. For example, I can map your assigned to due date and so on. And the other data point, that is the description. So description actually is about, you need to read hundreds of documents and identify what is the summary of the whole document. So basically the problem statement, again I'll go back, what is the problem statement. The problem statement is CAPA is actually for the large medical device manufacturer. So this is the case of actually Philips. So what they do, when they release the medical devices in market, if some issue comes up, they have to go into detail and find out what are the root cause. And they have to submit the report to FDA, which is actually governing body. So to generate that kind of report, they have to actually get into more details into it, and that in that process, hundreds of documents gets generated, because they have to find out what are the root causes, starting from the basically design and manufacturing, design to manufacturing. So anyone has to generate this document. He has to actually go through all the document, understand what is the root cause analysis, and then write out these particular format. So the biggest challenge was actually description. Description is something, or summary. This is something which has to go through all the documents and generate this information. So that's when, if you look at, there are 2 points here. One is getting those discrete points. Discrete point itself is actually you need to connect multiple sources. Multiple sources. Let's talk about SAP system, or you need to connect with the PLM system, and then extract information from there. And the second part is, as I said, like it's a document generation. So what we have done here is first this problem statement collecting those discrete point itself. Because when you have a lot of discrete point, you cannot actually hold in Odoo itself. Just imagine I have 400 points. How I can hold into Odoo system itself? I cannot create a table which has 400 columns. I mean, developers might actually appreciate, right? So how I can go manage that? That is the biggest challenge for me. So that kind of complexity comes when you are actually working with a larger enterprise. Problem statement is same. I want to generate this report, but the scale is altogether different. So that's where it comes like how basically how you can customize Odoo to manage this. So we'll show like how we customize this particular section. So what we have done here, if you look at same basically report, we did like 3 sections, subsections, and the data points. So we are not going to add the data points as a column, but rather as your records. So that you have to store only 4 information. What is the section? What is the subsection? And what are those data points? Right? This is how it was managed to handle those many sources. But of course, those sources you have to actually map with the different system sources. And here, so these are the actually just 4 columns needs to be handled into your system to generate the report. One important point is when you are going for description or those which requires human intervention where human were generating, you can give an option, basically it requires GenAI assistance. So what will happen, you have a different provision where you can give, where you can give an option to choose from, okay, I chosen for example description, or I chosen for this containment actions taken, or I can choose it for this correction actions for this to assist from AI, because I have large set of documents which has to be processed, which can be done easily by AI. Okay, so this is the interface how AI is actually how AI information was extracted. So the context directory, what we see here is the documents which we fetch it from the different sources, right? And this is for where we have integrated our DMS system in Odoo. That's how we are using the DMS system in Odoo. We fetch all the documents, put it into DMS, and that particular directory will be referred for your AI. So this is how we have implemented RAG system, which actually connects all the dots and then finally generates the description of whole proper solution. So this is actually your system design, how it is actually solution actually working with. You have multiple sources, you have context documents, and then you have basically your AI solutions, how it is integrated, and then these are the outputs, how it is actually coming out. Before I move to, actually, I had a live demo, but it is taking time. I'll just go and show this video itself. Just 2 minutes. So this is the final output which we are concentrating to, basically, which we will be bringing out after this whole video run. I mean, whole demo. So what we are trying to show here is basically these are the discrete points, and this is the particular point which information will come from the AI. And if you, so this is the PLM system. So these are the discrete points. This is what I was mentioning. Basically, in the PLM system, you have discrete points here. These are your discrete points, and there are the information actually available, which is documents are also available here. These are the documents or the information which are available in your PLM system. So you get a key that is called change notice number. Based on the change notice number, the system will fetch all the information. System is the Odoo platform will fetch all the information, right? So this is the particular, this is one example document which is available in the PLM system. This document actually will be fetched, and this particular document will be sent for your AI analysis to get the summary of the report. So here if you look at, like we started here, basically just we added one number, and then you can see that after processing all the data source data was fetched from system to here, right? So you can see those discrete points actually added here, and once discrete points were added, next is actually you can see basically sections, subsections, how those are organized in the system. And the provision is given especially for your AI assisted field, and this is where actually, you know, this particular field, we got data from the DMS system we have already integrated, which is coming out from your GenAI system. So this document is coming from the Windchill. Windchill is the PLM system where the data is stored. So what file we saw in PLM, that is actually, so this is the system integration, that is how it is done to fetch the information from there. And once, so just to complete, so here basically what we do is add information, we can add additional document if needed, right? So we can assign additional document, otherwise the document which is coming from the system that we use, and we can ask any question. For example, I want to summarize the document, that is what was the reason here. So I just ask, summarize the document. Okay, summary of the document, so it will be connected to now AI, and it will generate the document, basically the summary from the document. Once it is generated, we can modify it, or we can confirm, okay, this is the right content, and this will become a part of your basically report, or we can modify the question itself further and then get the information further. So once we get this information, we can go through it, we can modify it. So that's the important thing is here, human requirement is like you can again just review it and confirm, okay, it is right or wrong. I mean, you can modify, and then once all the data is set, we can go for the printing. So this report got generated, and it is again saved in DMS system. Yeah, so this was the whole one basically use case. So this particular report generation takes around 2 months time. Currently it takes around 2 months time. With this, within a 1 month, within a 1 day, everything is completed. 1 day is for actually verification of those data, which has come. You can see the impact of solution, how actually it has impact, right? So basically, from 2 months to 1 month, and that to the critical industry, that is actually medical devices industry, which has a lot of penalties if it goes beyond certain dates actually from the FDA side. This is one of the actually use cases which I wanted to show. There are one more use case I wanted to show. So. And the whole system design is like this actually. Basically whole solution architecture is like this. So basically you have your PLM system, you have internally integrated with the SaaS system, and then the Odoo system. Odoo is middle of it, and there is cloud there, and then it's integrated with it to complete the solution out. This is a working basically model for medical device industry, which is called the Philips solution, which is already proposed. It's working solution. Similarly, one more example of this is more kind of customization in Odoo itself, how Odoo has been actually placed in different roles. So the challenge was spare parts master data management. One of the large organization that manages that is an equipment manufacturer, and they have equipment which varies from last 20 years and so on. So they have a lot of spare parts. So customer requirements comes like to buy the spare parts. It's difficult for them to get the right part within time because those equipments are quite old, and getting those spare parts is very difficult. And initially when they recorded the information about the spare part, it was like different system, and the information about the spare part itself was not that consistent. So what they wanted was to basically consolidate information about each spare part, right? So spare part has multiple attributes. For example, it has a weight, it has a volume, it has a price, it has a material number, and so on. So they wanted to do the basically standardization, what we call it master data management. So this kind of view, if you look at source 1, source 2, source 3, basically both sources indicates that particular material was stored in different sources with different information. So the challenge was how to build this kind of UI where you have different sources and the different properties, and the final one was the quality data what is mentioned. So this kind of customization was done, and the customer was working on basically Excel sheet. And the data is right now, if you look at, there are 28,500 materials, and each material has 110 attributes. That means it was close to 2.8 million records. Obviously, managing in Excel was just not possible, and along with that, they had to collaborate with different teams. So 15 people were working on this particular project, and it was just not possible. So what they were doing, all of them were actually working on different Excel sheets, and then they were combining it all together. So we came up with this solution on the Odoo platform. So if you look at, for each material, one page is completely even, right? So this kind of UI customization is not, you don't see in basically regular UI customization. So this kind of customization we did. So for one particular material, all the information at one page. You can see all the information is available at one page, and then we have implemented workflow also in it, like what is the stages, how many stages are there, what are the workflows are there. And also we have connected to different departments because they need to understand like which material has to go to basically which department and so on. So it was complexity from more of actually finding out the right platform where they can work. So that's where we placed Odoo and customized as per their need. So it was definitely from the UI side, from the backend side, was challenging project in terms of component and the data, large scale data management, and then how actually we quickly assisted them to basically reach to 75K material that was close to 7.5 million records in limit 6 months time. It was estimated like 18 months, and then we reduced time to 6 months based on machine learning again, because we trained for initial few materials, 10,000 materials for the categories, and then it was applied for other materials. So that was one of the actually again use case which was actually highlighted. These are the highlighted use case where the time was reduced drastically. And these kind of platforms are not available in enterprise platforms. Either you need to develop some application, or you need to actually customize some application. That's where the kind of enterprise application you need. That's where the Odoo comes into picture. Odoo is an enterprise application. We are working with enterprise applications, and Odoo is one of the best applications which has to be actually reach out to bigger organizations. That's the purpose. So there are other use cases also. So for example, one use case especially for the knowledge management we had, and these are all right now in live projects. These are live projects which are going on. So we just wanted to highlight like what kind of challenges and how we can actually, if requires, we can actually utilize this kind of challenge, basically utilities to offer solutions to our customers. One of the problem statement was this. Basically, the customer has bomb material into a large catalog. I mean, set of catalog, document catalog. So it was like 6,000 pages PDF document where the bomb was actually, their bomb was listed and they wanted to put it to PDF. So basically put into PDM system. So basically it was again digitalization of a bomb bill of materials. So that again we did with on the same platform with the Odoo. So basically, if you look at the left side, what it is showing, like this is the bill of material which is there in the PDF, and the right side it shows that basically what is the solution what we actually converted and it was imported into. One more question. So this is a basically knowledge-based system. Knowledge-based system, what we have done here, we have documents from the organization. So document from the organization, and based on that, user will ask a question, and based on that, we will get the answer for that particular document based on the document itself. So this is required when you have actually, it's especially used for the onboarding process. When a user gets into new department and they want to they want to go through different processes to understand what are the basically workflows and all. So it's easy for them to understand, processes, especially design processes or something like that. It is purely used for engineering workflow processes. So what we did, indexed all documents in DMS system, and then connected with our discuss, and it was internally basically integrated with AI system where you can ask question and you get the right information what you are looking for. So we have utilized here Odoo infrastructure for this discuss, and then yeah. For example, if I want to ask a question like how to create and maintain some particular, so these are the workflows which user is asking in their particular system basically. So idea is here actually how basically we can utilize for this knowledge base, especially in our case also where we have complete data source. Basically, for the Open ERP, for the Odoo itself, we have sources and how we can utilize to basically garner all those knowledge to pass it to our customer. So basically, if you have hundreds of workflows and identifying a single workflow, it is easier for them to actually understand. So these are the working basically projects which has been implemented in large organizations. And again, it is for the Philips for one of the departments if they are using it, and it is specific to their department because they have ChatGPT and all, but they want actually specific solution for their department. That's why we had integrated with the Odoo, and this is the solution how it works right now. So the highlight what I wanted to do here is how you can integrate with the AI, with the system integration in Odoo actually. And especially Odoo is so flexible for integration, system integration. System, you could talk about any PLM system or any other system because it has your APIs which you can actually easily integrate with the different systems. So that's where you can fetch the data and you can actually solve these kind of issues very efficiently. Yeah, that's from my side. If any question, then I can definitely answer or we can connect.
How do you make sure that LLM doesn't hallucinate?
So, especially in this case, what I showed you, it is actually we are using the cloud, not LLM, but cloud GenAI, because here what we. So, if you look at in the solution what I showed here, let me go back again the structure of solution. this one. So if you look at here, we are actually not, we are using GenAI just to generate the content. So, but the search is happening inside in the search service. That is different. Yeah, it's not normal search. It's a vector search actually. It is AI search again, but it will give you the extractive AI. Actually, we are using the extractive AI layer where you are getting the information, exact information for whatever is searched. Once you get that information, that search information along with the document is sent to your cloud system, just to generate the actually output.
So is it implementation of RAG?
Yes. So yeah, so if you see that UI, right? This UI, if you see, here is the RAG system. So whatever you type, that is the question. Whatever the directory you see, that is the document which is coming from the system. And when you ask question, it is just not sent directly. We extract the information and then finally send it. Yeah. Yes, please.
What about the security when you are sharing data to GenAI and then you are patient?
Good question. Good question.
Enterprise.
Yeah, good, very good question. And that's what we can say Odoo is enterprise application. So Odoo solves all your problem. You don't need to worry about your security. Only you need to just take care about whatever provisions are given in security protocols. You need to follow from the Odoo side. Odoo has given provisions, but it is by default. It is not actually active. All the security requirements. There are close to 100 security requirements when you go to integrate with enterprise application. You need to actually work on that side of it. At least we work because we had used different this one. We have not used actually for this particular solution. We haven't used enterprise one, but we had modified completely to comply with the security requirement.
So in simple terms, you are saying Odoo will manage the security part and you don't need to worry about it.
Yes.
So whatever you are sending to any third party or GenAI, ChatGPT, so that will be managed.
See,
from
here all the components what you see here is actually all are enterprise applications. So wherever you are sharing data, actually you are sharing with the enterprise systems. So that means the connection itself ensures that you are security compliant. Otherwise, they won't allow you to actually get the data or fetch the data. And especially when you are working with the large enterprise systems, it is just not possible to connect with your system with any like especially for PLM system, because it's very confidential data, and when it comes to medical devices and all, it's definitely not that easy. So this was the search engine, the one which I think we were discussing about. This is how we implemented this search engine. Any other question? Thanks. Thank you, everyone.